on 7 MacGyver. Join us tonight at 8:30 for Raymond Burr in his award-winning role as television's #1 attorney. Perry Mason is put to the test in the case of the Shooting Star, your Saturday mystery movie tonight here on 7.
Jesselenko are looking to continue their steady climb up the ladder. Also tonight we go to Kardinia Park for Geelong's encounter with Fitzroy. And while the Cats have won 7 on the trot, they still remember their losses. And one of those losses was to Fitzroy in round 5.
Yes, a couple of very interesting games tonight. Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to Saturday Night Replay. First up, we join some 34,000 fans out at a pretty chilly VFL Park for the clash between Essendon and Carlton. The Bombers made a change. Dean Bailey was out and Paul van der Haar came into the 20. And first up, let's have a look at some of the highlights from the first 3 quarters.
Looking for Hamilton going past. He's not the only one. Comes back again. The kick is long by Terry Danaher. Down towards Salmon. The ball sits. Which way will it bounce? Oh, a chance for Izzard. Dangerous in front of goal, and there's the first one on the board for the day. So Harvey. In towards full forward. The bounce eludes Salmon, taken by Madden, and a shocking kick, dropping short onto the chest of Terry Danaher. This for Essendon's third. Danaher stabs with a drop punt, and he makes no mistake.
The ball is holding up in different parts of the ground.
I think you're right, Don. I think it's very difficult to play football out there at the present time. This is Williams off hands, gets the hand pass away out of midair by Madden. Here's one of the stars of the first term, Michael Long. Has it kicked a goal? I think he has.
Gets clear of Harvey. Well played by Hannah. Back towards the centre of Verbeek takes the mark. Plays on, out of the sand, getting the hand pass away to Shane Robertson. Long in towards Kernahan at half forward, and he marks. Kernahan for his second goal this quarter. And Carlton second. Directly in front. He's kicked his second.
27-14. The Maddens go at it. The younger one won it down. That was Justin. Meldrum slung to the ground. Terry Danaher an opportunity now to Long, who's been probably the best man on the ground. Gets it away to Anthony Danaher. Back it comes to Madden. Madden goes long down towards half forward. McKenzie gets a fist on it. Opportunity for Plain. Over the top, Harvey. Great vision by Plain. Harvey goes storming into an open goal and gets the first of the term for the Bombers.
Close to the boundary line. And it's Thompson who brings it away to Neil Danaher. Short to Antrobus. Not short enough, but it doesn't matter. He's got Long at the back, and look at him sprint clear. Michael Long dummies the hand pass. Oh, he's gone 50 metres. He's still going. And Aitken still chasing. Over the top to Anderson. If it sits, he'll go into goal. Onto the left foot, he shoots, and he goals, and that one belongs to Michael Long. Slipping was Anthony Danaher. But he shrugs the bump. His hand pass may be costly. Meldrum picks it up, shoots in towards goal, and has kicked it. He's got Long loose. And Long, in turn, if he can get clear, has got Spoor. Plays on to Werner. Pulls it back towards Plain. Past him, past Madden. Now Madden and Spoor. And over the line. Oh. So a free kick will go the way of Essendon. Deliberate, said the umpire. And Don Scott is breaking big biros like they're going out of fashion.
How many times do you see a player do that and it's really left to the umpire's discretion as to whether he claims it to be intentional?
Spawn's kick looks pretty good. He's goal.
Inside the last minute in this third term, Simon Madden wins it down. Williams with a run of it. Carlton must contain Essendon here. Aitken, the short pass, comes across to Meldrum. Meldrum back to Aitken. Aitken from centre wing goes down towards half forward. Kernahan on the lead. Won't sit for him. He controls it well though, Kernahan. Kicks towards the pocket. Van der Haar in best position to mark. Misses it. Ball running free behind. Picked up by O'Donnell. Tackled by Gleeson. Johnston the hand pass. Dennis. Is it a late goal for Carlton? It looks good. I think it's home. It is.
Yes, that late goal at the time appeared very, very handy for Carlton. They went in at three-quarter time, 5-3-33, trailing Essendon 8-6-54, so a margin of 21 points. but the general opinion, perhaps except for Don Scott, was that Carlton would be coming home with what was considered a fairly stiff breeze. The big question was, could they peg them back? Well, let's pick up play now. Early in the final quarter, with me in the commentary position, incidentally, was Don Scott and Dennis Cometti, and there's been no change to the quarter-time score.
Throw in again. Justin Madden, Derui at the back. Spoons it out to Bradley. He'll want to get onto the right boot. He does. High in towards the pocket. Murphy giving away plenty of height to O'Donnell, and it's punched defensively over the line. Well, if they can get the first goal, it will certainly fire up Carlton and their supporters. Dennis comes in from the side and pushes it towards goal. Nayley has an airy. That lets Van der Haar in. He gets it back to O'Donnell. A short kick will get him 15 metres further away from goal. Well, the chances are there for Carlton. Simon Madden down to Mark Thompson. Long towards centre wing. Watson sandwiched. Plain scouting. Sockers off the ground towards Werner. Dummies the hand pass, but then loses it. Aitken comes over the top. This lets Dean through. He finds Bradley. Craig Bradley from a standing start going towards half forward. Meldrum almost pulled it in with the one hand, but he gave a nudge. And Anthony Danaher will take it at half back.
He goes out wide, looking for brother Terry. Could have almost got the free. Yes, it's paid. Terry Danaher, as always, fearless today. Not a particularly good kick. It wobbles in towards the middle. Izard the mark. Now he's away. Tackled by Herman. Gets the hand pass on. This is Watson. Around the big fellow Madden. Still he goes. Into the legs of Nayley. Nayley comes again. Emerges with the ball. Tackled by Anderson. They're going in solidly now. They're playing for keeps as Williams gets it away. Neil Danaher swings it out wide. Spawn, awkward half volley. Left it behind. Rui's got it now. Hurriedly onto the boot, back towards centre wing. Look out Meldrum. Over the top Anthony Danaher. Anderson sweeping hand pass away. Spawn long down towards full forward. In best position to mark is Bradley. He's played a wonderful game. Will of the Wisp, he's away. Goes in short. Justin Madden's got it. To Herman. Herman from half back through the centre. Dennis is the target. Got a hand to it. Fraser Murphy behind. Gets out of the tackle. Fraser Murphy long down towards full forward. Kernahan and Van der Haar. They fell over. It's bouncing goalward. 3 for a minor score.
Now that's probably the best passage of play we've seen all day. And now it's becoming exciting football, opening up and both sides starting to run.
Van der Haar to the outer side. Terry Danaher. Dennis taken out of it to allow Danaher a clear path. Oh, he's run too far, has he?
Well, there's no justice. What about Harvey down the other end when he kicked the goal? He would have run further than what Danaher did on that occasion.
So Craig Bradley to take it just forward of centre, and he goes long in towards Kernahan. Meldrum tries to force his way through the pack, gets brought to ground, and we will have a ball up.
The little fellows of Carlton have got to work closer into the pack. It was evident then that Kernahan's always going to fly, and he had 4 Essendon players. The little fellows are down on the ground at Carlton, but they're not close enough to pack.
20 points in it and just under 20 minutes remaining. Johnston has been quiet, goes onto the right boot, snaps at goal and puts through a behind. (5-5) plays 8-6 as Van der Haar again prepares to bring this ball back into play. One of the veterans out at Windy Hill. He wobbles it, and that's a fine mark taken by Spawn. Held front spot over Derui. He's got Salmon calling for it in the centre, but he elects to go to the wing. Werner got one hand to it. Nayley flicks it out the back. They keep it in play for Dean. He's claimed by Plain. Illegal, he said, the umpire. So Peter Dean from centre wing again to put Carlton into attack. Kernahan comes over the top.
Verbeek on for Carlton and Gleeson off.
Steve Kernahan now. As players flow down to the Blues forward line. Short to Bradley. He may have to go back to Kernahan. Where will he go? Short to Alvin. This time just inside 50. Alvin lets fly, but he's very wide and it goes out of bounds on the full.
A lot of indecision by Carlton on that occasion. Alvin could have stopped and had a shot for goal.
Carlton doing all the attacking. This is Williams. Only 2 players forward of the centre for Essendon. The rest down the end where the play is. Danaher, that's Anthony, through the legs of Terry. Walsh overran it. Terry slaps it out. And we'll have a bounce. A long time to go yet. 17.5 minutes. 8-6 to 5-5. The Maddens. One down by Justin. Off the ground by Robertson. Gains about 30 metres. Thompson runs it across the boundary line. His comeback has been impressive today, and that's great to see. Mark Thompson deep in defence. Can he come back to a victory? That remains to be seen. Justin Madden clean possession. Too hot for Johnston. Comes to Dennis, pulls it back. Where's Kernahan? Did well, slapped it away. Meldrum right on the boundary line, kicks it out of bounds on the full in the left full forward pocket. So try as they may at the present time, they can't get the goal they need. That could start them off. Here's Van der Haar alongside the behind post. Not a particularly good kick. Plain was up. Johnston couldn't control it. Long knocks it out. Well done by Robertson. Gets the hand pass away. Thompson dragged down by Murphy. O'Donnell a hand pass to Izzard.
Izzard short but effective. Finds Simon Madden. Plays on to Bradley Plain and he's away. High over centre wing. Salmon and McKenzie. Verbeek. Hand passes in towards the middle. Alvin gets a quick kick. It's effective. Carlton plenty of possession, but they've got to score. Richard Dennis short. That's better. He finds Johnston at the 50-metre line. Directly in front, he lets fly with a long kick in towards Van der Haar and also Kernahan. It's wide again. It is over the line on the full. So again, Van der Haar will seek relief on the outer side. No mark taken. Johnston battling hard at the bottom. But another ball up. 15.5 minutes remaining and still anyone's game. 19 points in it. The Madden boys go it as Izzard sneaks away on that outer side. Wide, too wide. So Peter Dean will come back in for Carlton. Dean kicks long towards the 50-metre line. That's close to the boundary too, but Izzard is there. To half back. Nipping in was Nailey. Couldn't take the mark. Recovered well to Alvin. Meldrum plays onto the left foot. He kicks it high and it's wide again. And again out of bounds on the full, and that's 3 we've had in 4 minutes.
Must have been a touch ball, surely.
Neil Danaher in the back pocket.
He stays close to the boundary line with a kick. Falls behind the pack. Bradley, he'll pump it back in again. Craig Bradley, high kick towards the true centre half forward position. Dennis, the better judgment there. Anthony Danaher over the top. It falls to Watson. High kick. No one forward of the centre for Essendon. And now Carlton run the risk of a counter-attack. Anderson can run from the centre. Can he get the distance? He's a sprinter. Anderson muffs it. He's kicked it behind.
This is reminiscent of what Fitzroy did a couple of years ago in the final, and Conlon it was who ran into the open goal in the last quarter. Fitzroy used to play all their players up the ground as Essendon are doing now.
Well, I've never seen that before. Bradley back towards the middle. And as I said, as Anderson was running, that is the rescue run. The quick counter-attack can kill you. Simon Madden's on the ball, and it will be balled up.
And Blackwell on, sorry Dennis, Blackwell on for Carlton, and going off is Fraser Murphy.
8-7 to 5-5. Anderson will always remember that. Aitken from half back towards the middle. Anderson again running the other way this time. Gets the hand pass away too. Terry Danaher could be holding the ball. Play goes on. Off the ground by Anthony Danaher. Darui with great courage tries to get it across to Herman. Anthony Danaher goes in. Herman emerges with the ball, and the umpire calls for it.
Plenty of desperation in this game now. Just on 13 minutes remaining. Carlton can still get up close to centre wing. Nailey scoots away. He's only had 8 kicks for the day. He's run a long way towards Kernahan. One grab. Blackwell off hands. Is this the one to start them off? Will it come back? No, it won't. It spins the other way. And another behind goes on the ball.
There's a magnet in that left forward pocket. The ball, every time they're going down there, it goes to the left of goals.
So Paul van der Haar being asked to do plenty of work in this last quarter. Williams, front spot over Naylor. Under 12.5 minutes remaining. Towards the centre, over the head of Danaher, almost the diving mark taken by Watson. He has the strength to spoon it out. Long weaves clear to Terry Danaher. Danger again for Carlton as he goes down towards Salmon and McKenzie. Salmon leading, gets a favourable bounce, pulls it back. Which way is this going to bounce? It will sit close to the line. Kept in play, hooked over the shoulder and hooked wide, and it may in fact give Aitken a chance to clear for Carlton. Beautifully tackled by Watson. Players thought it may stop, but it's kept going. Salmon gets the hand pass away. The shot is by Werner. Has he kicked it? He's kicked it.
Come on.
You haven't seen it for 2 years, Dad. Another 2 minutes won't make any difference.
Airport will be closed.
Where?
There he is, there he is.
Where? There he is.
I'll go and get
Where?
him. Good to see you, son. I'll take care of this. Go and say hello to your mum. I'll get the car. I'll meet you outside.
Check the other bag. And my buckle's on the car.
A Holden? Since when have you been driving a Holden?
Since they made this one. You've been gone a while, son.
So, what's under the bonnet?
Big V6 with 4-speed auto.
You, a V6? I love it. What did I say?
It doesn't matter, son. Good to have you home.
Morning, darling.
Okay, darling.
Right.
Throughout time, the best inventions have always been machines that free us up from behaving like machines. Wouldn't the ultimate machine, therefore, be one that frees us up to do more, think more, and help us achieve our full potential?
Morning, Mac.
A machine that not only takes care of so many of the mechanical, day-to-day tasks, but also helps you to do those things only humans can do.
Right.
Good night, Mac. Think about it.
Turn everything off now, Harry.
Oh, all right then. Good night.
This is the 4 and 20 export pie. It's bigger, chunkier, and now available oven fresh from these very special 4 and 20 hot shops. You'll love it, because while 4 and 20 have taken the pie out of Australia, They've taken none of the Australian out of the pie.
Activate CC, the cough silencer.
Well, it could be the Carlton dream lies in tatters now. It was a remote possibility. They needed to win today, and they've been beaten on the counterpunch. Down goes Naley. The beat comes away. We've got a whistle. It'll come back to Carlton. Mark Naley towards half forward. Time of the essence now. Walsh got a hand to it. Izard straight up in the air. Dennis tried to knock it forward. Herman out of the congestion. Long kick. Again down towards that left full forward pocket. And it bounces through for a minor score. Well, like the Bermuda Triangle down there for Carlton.
And since half-time, both teams have only scored 25 points between them. A very low-scoring second half.
Anthony Danaher. The Breeze grabs this kick and takes it out of bounds on the full. Herman to bring it back. Goes in short, intended for Kernahan. Strong hands in front. And the champion will kick it goal from about 50 metres out. He'll go close from here.
There are no big fellows in the Carlton goal square. They're all small. The biggest, Milam Hanna, has been released from the half-back line, being replaced there by Verbeek.
A lot of Carlton hearts will ride on this kick. Steve Kernahan from 55 metres out. Flat-looking kick. Rushes through on the Breeze for a minor score.
5-8. Plays at 9-7. 23 points the difference. Carlton want 4 straight kicks. Danaher kicks back into play. Werner is away. May get claimed by Dean. Dean's pretty quick. But so is Werner. Spoiled by Anderson is effective. A long Darui, long held. And he gets the free kick. A real will-o'-the-wisp. The left foot kick goes inside 50. 2 Carlton players fly. And it's hammered across the line. A little over 9 minutes remaining. So it's a big ask now for Carlton to get up. Aitken. A hurried kick towards Dennis. Oh, he almost threw it out to Herman. But he's good enough to get away. Towards Meldrum. Over the top of him was Anthony Danaher. And it's finally taken over the line.
It's a big cumbersome half-back line that Essendon have got. They've got Danaher, Walsh and Hamilton. But a very effective will nevertheless.
Throw in at centre wing. Simon Madden gets front spot down to Darren Williams. Pulls it high up towards the left half forward flank, and a good mark taken by Herman. Peter Dean coming over the top. So Dean again to relieve the pressure, kicks in towards the centre. No mark taken. And Shane Robertson picks himself up, perhaps with a little cramp. Still in the middle. Simon Madden looking to flick it back towards Williams. Doesn't find him. In fact, it's a Carlton ball. Be taken by Mark Naley, who's got Bradley loose. This for kick number 31 for the day for Bradley. Over the head of Kernahan, they lose sight of it. It's Neil Danaher in the back pocket. Kick goes to Darui. Back to Naley. Onto the left foot. They're doing it hard, Carlton, trying desperately to score. Walsh and Neil Danaher. Free kick going the way of Walsh.
Those tackles are loaded. When Wayne Johnson tackles, the left hand's loaded.
Kevin Walsh towards centre wing. Madden in front. That's Justin. And he'll send it back. Floats it on the Breeze. Missed by Hamilton. Hannah's got the run of it now. Hannah from 40 metres out. That's a difficult shot. It's going close. That's a great effort from there. It's a goal.
So, what's important to you right now?
What do you mean?
Well, what do you like doing? Do you like going out? Do you like restaurants?
Well, yes.
Because the easiest thing I can do right now is to write you a cheque for the pool. But it's your money. You have to pay the bank back every month, not me. You're the ones who might have to cut back on the restaurants.
Look, Jen and I are both back at work now. And to tell you the truth, the swimming pool's not that important.
It's just that it'll give us more time with the kids.
And that's much more important than restaurants.
At State Bank Victoria, the easiest thing we can ever do is give you a personal loan. The hard part is making sure the loan is right for you.
I hope the pool works out.
State Bank Personal Loans.
Thanks.
We never forget. It's your money.
Hi, have you heard the news?
I can't believe it's true.
I couldn't wait to let you know.
I just had to talk to you.
You won't believe what's happened.
The new reduced international direct dial prices from OTC have got everyone talking. We've cut the cost of calls to 45 of the most popular countries.
It doesn't cost as much to make a call.
To see it touch.
OTC. Our reduced rates have got everyone talking.
This is Anytown, and this is Jack, Anytown's handyman.
G'day.
Jack and his Nissan Navara have had a busy week. Monday, there was a brush with the law. Tuesday, a constructive engagement. Wednesday, a run on the stock market. Thursday and Friday positively flew by. This weekend, Jack's going fishing with the boys. And that's just another job his Navara has covered.
Because that's a hard-working truck.
That's Nissan know-how.
Would you hand over $100 to a total stranger? The Brighton con man has persuaded dozens to do just that. He's good-looking, charming and confident, and you could help catch him. He shot his cousin in cold blood, was convicted of murder and sentenced for life. Now he's on the run, hiding out somewhere in Australia, and you may recognize him. 24 shows to air and 25 criminals off the street. Australia's Most Wanted, Sunday on 7.
Still over 6 minutes remaining in the game. Make no mistake, Carlton can still win this. Justin Madden out of the middle, not with kicks like that. The mark is taken by Plain. Plain in the true centre-half back position. 9-7 to 6-8. Back towards the middle. Justin Madden arrives on the scene, out of mid-air, boots it back towards half-forward yet again. Plain missed it. Meldrum didn't. From centre-half forward, he lobs it high.
Down towards Van der Haar and Kernahan, again wide. And Van der Haar pushes it over the line. The question is asked, was that deliberate, Don Scott?
Well, I thought it was deliberate. If Madden's was deliberate earlier, that was deliberate on that occasion by Van der Haar.
A throw-in. Kernahan plucks it out of the air, goes onto the left foot, but the kick was smothered. Kennedy looking for the free kick. It didn't come his way.
It's good tactics by Essendon, the way they're crowding that game up, because it's hard for Carlton to get the ball out in the open.
Throw-in goes over the top. Nayley rides the bump of Williams, goes back onto the left foot, shoots in towards goal and puts through a behind. 9-7 plays 6-9. 16 points. And under 5.5 minutes. Look at that ball dropping like a piece of lead as O'Donnell spooned that towards the line as well. And you've given up, Don.
I have.
The Madden boys. And another stalemate. Well, it hasn't been a memorable day as far as performance is concerned for Wayne Johnston, but a tremendous effort to bring up his 200th today. He will long remember it as Plain and Nayley see that one over the line. Close now to the Carlton goal, but they want one here smartly.
Well, they're supposed to be behind Kernahan. He's got to bring the ball back into a space.
He uses the body trying to get clear with the ball, but it's Madden who gets a short kick that in turn also heads over the line.
I suppose one could pose the question, will Alex Jesaulenko train the boys into the ground this week as punishment?
Long flicks it out. Madden flicks it back. Long has it again. O'Donnell onto Williams, runs into DeRuy, but he's still going, Darren Williams.
I think time may be up for the Blues now. They needed a quick goal out of the centre last time around. It's down to 3:50. There you see it. Madden, that's Justin, worth a kick in the wrong area, that left full forward pocket again. Van der Haar, now that's interesting. We knew what was in his mind, but he didn't touch the ball. Strange twist on an old variation. Boundary throw in. Salmon, timely, down to Thompson. Bradley left the ball behind, goes back and gets it. Johnston got an unkind bounce. Robertson gets it away to Herman. Herman deep in the pocket, centering kick. Essendon the numbers, but was a Carlton player held out? No, an Essendon player was. Meldrum, he threw that one further than he kicked that ball early in the quarter. Joe Montana, Ichihara. Hamilton's got it in the goal square. Just over 3 minutes remaining. So it seems the dream return for Alex Jesaulenko comes to an abrupt halt at VFL Park. Verbeek back into the forward line. It's out of bounds and will be thrown in.
Who isn't on the forward line for Carlton?
Proposing a lot of questions.
From the throw-in, Salmon. Anthony Danaher. Sweeping hand pass, but straight to Nailey, who was off without the football. Williams, Izzard. Neil Danaher. A high kick towards centre wing. Waiting down in front, Peter Dean. Over the head of Madden it goes. And there is no one in one half of the ground at the moment.
I don't think I've ever seen that before, Sandy. It's happened so often today. It's an obvious plan when they're kicking against the so-called breeze. Essendon are getting their fellows well up the ground.
Just on 2 minutes remaining. Nailey flicks it back. Alvin can't get an effective kick, but he's got the free now, so he will get a kick. Towards Hannah at half forward. At the back is Dennis. High in towards full forward. Blackwell stands his ground as Van der Haar comes in from the side. This could be the chance for Johnston. Onto the left foot, he pulls it back. High in towards the square. Was it touched? Right on the line. So the 10th behind goes on the board for Carlton. They trail by 15 points. And again it will be Anthony Danaher. The ball dropping short. DeRuy marks at 50 metres. The drop punt into the square. Meldrum at the back. Goals.
Well, being in the right place at the right time, Paul Meldrum. Probably done well in this last quarter. It's hard to find good players the way this ground game has been congested. But DeRuy kicking the long ball, the pack fly, and it's Meldrum who stayed down just about on the goal square. I thought he may have kicked the point. He just brought it to the right. And I think time might have run out for Carlton.
Inside the last minute, it seems too little too late. They must get a goal immediately, Carlton, and stop the clock. That's their only chance now. DeRuy hurriedly towards half forward. Walsh towards the boundary line. This is all consuming time. Hannah at half forward, still going. The kick not a good one though. DeRuy takes the mark on his chest. Needs to move it on. We're down to 32 seconds now. He's got 50 metres. But unfortunately, yes, it stopped the clock. The umpire now has whistled time on. So we've stopped the clock at 28. De Rui will kick from 25 metres out.
It's a bit like basketball, Dennis. With this goal, the clock will stop again.
The clock has started again. I didn't see the umpire whistle time on. This is interesting. He must have blown it back on. So Salmon's on the mark. We're down to 8 seconds. So it matters not what De Rui does with this. It's too late. He's kicked it. It's back to 3 points. Clock is stopped on about a second. No, there's the siren.
And that was the eventual margin. Essendon coach Kevin Sheedy not too happy. 9-7-61 the Bombers. Carlton 8-10-58. Anderson and Plain each getting 2 for Essendon. Kernahan and Meldrum each 2 for Carlton. The other black news as far as Carlton was concerned was the report, and that was on Wayne Blackwell by umpire Dennis Rich for allegedly striking Bradley Plain. Just the one report to come out of that game. We'll take a break and shortly make the journey down to Kardinia Park.
Next time you change your oil, trade up to BP Visco 2000. Because a change of oil could change your image. Enter the BP Visco 2000 competition. See a participating BP service station now and you could win a great new Nissan Exa. Hey, a Nissan Exa. BP, on the move.
Morning, darling. Right.
Throughout time, the best inventions have always been machines that free us up from behaving like machines. Wouldn't the ultimate machine, therefore, be one that frees us up to do more, think more, and help us achieve our full potential?
Morning, mate.
A machine that not only takes care of so many of the mechanical, day-to-day tasks, but also helps you to do those things only humans can do.
Right.
Good night, Mac. Think about it.
Turn everything off now, Harry.
Oh, all right then. Good night.
Sorry. You know how it is. It's a bit wet over there. Bit wet over here, too. Let me get some drinks.
No, let me. Waiter, drinks all round.
Well, if we're going to make a party of it, let's nibble Nobby's nuts.
Sorry.
Live from 2 o'clock, it's Melbourne versus the Brisbane Bears. And at 5, a replay of the big clash between Fitzroy and Collingwood. Sunday on 7.
This is your life. Donald Duck.
The spotlight shines on Donald in a Disney award-giving special. Sunday on 7.
Here's the Tats 2 results, just drawn under government supervision.
And welcome back to Saturday Night Replay. Time now to journey down to Kardinia Park. As far as Geelong was concerned today, this was the start of their revenge mission. If you'll remember back earlier on in the season at three-quarter time against Fitzroy, the Cats held a 6-goal lead and they saw it disappear, and the Lions get up to win a thriller. And Geelong certainly did not want that happening today. Well, they could have thought differently by half-time because Fitzroy was taking everything up to them. At half-time, Fitzroy led 4-3-27 in a low-scoring encounter, but Geelong had been well off target. They could manage only 1-7-13 and, of course, went into the game without their key forward in Gary Ablett. Well, let's go to the action now. We'll pick up play at the start of the third quarter with our commentators Drew Morfitt and Ross Glendinning.
Umpire Clayton with a new football to start the second half. Burke up too early. Rendell wins out of the middle. Buse. Now surely Malcolm Blight has ripped into the Cats at half-time. Geelong's last chance this quarter. They're with the wind, and that's an excellent mark. It's taken out there by Fletcher. Across the half-forward line. Malachelles and Scott, Scott's taken it.
Well, good positive start, Drew, for Geelong.
And a clever disposal by Fletcher to get the ball across to the attacking side for Robert Scott. And he's kicking from within side 50. Geelong didn't manage a goal going this way in the first quarter. They might get one in the first minute of the third quarter. It's made it.
Well, yes, a good positive start there by Geelong. A fine mark taken by Fletcher and followed with a very good kick coming across the ground to advantage, and well marked by Robert Scott, who kicked very well into that, or with that breeze, favouring the right-hand side and giving the ball a chance. As you see there, a fine mark there in front of young Peter Burke. And that's the start I'm sure Malcolm Blight asked his players to give him in this third quarter.
8 points the difference now. Fitzroy still lead. Geelong will need to kick a few goals in this quarter. Nevertheless, Roos has been an outstanding player. Out wide to Blakey. Blakey on to Rendell, who's finding it very hard to bend down and pick up the ball today. It's kicked away from him. This is Armstrong, who's been a good player. He's ridden into the ground, and the ball comes off his hands over the line. But Geelong look pretty much fired up to start this quarter, and they need to be. They're kicking with the wind.
John Blakey's done a fine job on Mark Bairstow so far.
Well, a lot of the star Geelong small men have been well held. The ball is punched away. Craig McGrath coming off the ground for Fitzroy, and Ross Thornton on. Here's a chance. Paul Couch from 30 metres, puts a goal and slams it through.
Well, again, good teamwork from Geelong as the players go across and say well done again to Fletcher. But Paul Couch, who's been a very fine player for Geelong this season. The fist coming forward for Geelong here. It's got a good contest. But look at that also from Fletcher, who dived on the ball. Came through this Couch, and a good goal on the left foot. Paul Roos now going back to centre half forward, having started the first couple of minutes as a spare man in defence. Fitzroy need to attack, not defend.
Well, a different complexion on the game straight away at the start of this second half. The Cats getting 2 quick goals. Here they go again. Couch out of the middle. High. Fletcher, oh, almost again. Not quite. Hand pass comes back to Pert, who goes for the defensive side of the ground. Bruns, what a mark. He covered ground then. Same direction as the ball. Neville Bruns pumps it back to centre half forward. Through Stoneham it goes. It's hooked back to Burke from McCormack. And the kick across the half-back line and out of bounds. Well, all of a sudden, Geelong, who couldn't manage a goal, just 6 behinds in the first quarter with the breeze, have 2 straight in the opening couple of minutes of the third quarter.
And looking very, very dangerous. They are the sort of side that can slam on 8 or 9 quick goals and then bury a side. Let's see if they can do it today. There's Couch getting it out to Bruns. And Neville Bruns not too happy with the boundary umpire. First half was, well, Fitzroy's half, because they tackled, they chased, they harassed, and they put the Geelong star players under a lot of pressure. But Geelong, as we said, looking dangerous. That's Couch off the ground right down towards the forward pocket. Bruce Lindner started on interchange now. Is that in the back? The umpire thought so. It's on the boundary line about 40 metres around from the goal. Bruce Lindner yet to score a goal. In fact, he's just had 1 hand pass. There's the kick, sets it up in front of goal. The high flyers are there. Scott in front of goal. A quick kick by Fletcher, and he has put it through.
Hi, just popped in to tell you about the Ampol Australian Boat Show. There'll be big boats, there'll be little boats, there'll be sailboats. Whoa! And you could win the Sun Boating Adventure Package. See the Sun for details. So forget about the footy, movies and television and get the family down to the exhibition building from July 6th to the 12th for Australia's largest boat show, the Ampol Australian Boat Show. Yes, there's oceans of fun for everyone. Wow!
Discount sport for fitness, fame or fun. You win. At A1 Sports Stores, you'll find more than just great bargains. You'll find our official VFL shops, cram-packed with everything a player or fan could want, like jumpers in all team colours, VFL-approved footy shorts and socks, wind cheaters, mugs, sports bags, sweatshirts, tracksuits. So get into A1 Sports' official VFL shops and really kick a goal.
First time, first love, what feeling is this? Electricity flows like the very first kiss, like a break in the clouds and the first ray of sun. Can't top it, can't stop it, feeling this real must be Coca-Cola. Can't beat it, can't beat the feeling.
Anything worth achieving takes time. Like quitting. Many smokers try to quit a few times before they finally succeed. But that's okay. With each try, you learn something new. So every time you give up, you're closer to giving it away completely.
For tips on how to quit smoking, call the quit line now, 11538.
Now, if you can get hold of some boiling water, Huey's have a great new range of delicious noodles made here in Australia from authentic Chinese recipes. Huey's 1-minute noodles and Sui Min Chinese meals in a cup. Just put the 1-minute noodles into boiling water. Or, for a delicious snack, pour boiling water into a cup of Sui Min. 3 authentic Chinese 1-minute noodle flavours and 6 varieties of Sui Min meals in a cup. As easy to make as boiling water.
Hello, 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 hello. Join the fun, lighten up your day with Bert's.
When the news takes me, goodness gracious, before me.
Do you see what I mean?
It sounds so good, there's a
He's allowed to stay here in Australia.
12 o'clock weekdays.
so good, sounds so good.
The Bert Newton Show, presented by Jenny Craig Weight Loss Centres on 7.
Young Adrian Fletcher, the 19-year-old Tasmanian, has been in everything at the start of this third quarter. Burke down to Bruns. Thumped up the ground by Peter Burke for Fitzroy. It comes back to him. Burke once again in between wing and half forward. Boss is back there for Geelong. The Cats looking a different unit now. Boss kicks 60 metres to centre half forward. Gary Hocking there. Knocks to the front. Couch traps it well. Threads the hand pass to Fletcher again. He breaks clear. Goes for his second goal. Won't make it. Lindner is there. And Pert takes the mark. Well, Fletcher absolutely dominating on Geelong's forward line. And here's a short pass from Pert into Peter Burke. He goes short again for Harris, and they still really haven't got it out of the back pocket.
Leon Harris is a very good player in the first half. In defence, he chased and harassed. Very experienced player, of course. There's Damien Burke trying to hook it down with one hand. Matt Rendell grabbed when he didn't have it. Here's Morgan, who was quiet in the first half. Towards half forward. No mark to Harris, or poor attempt by Fitzroy there. Now, is that a high tackle by Couch? Out it comes to Scott. Now, Paul Couch has been given the free kick about 45 metres out from goal.
Damien Burke's copped one in the nose.
Well, it doesn't look too good, but this is Paul Couch. He probably won't make the distance from there, kicking into the breeze. Well, they're kicking, well, into the teeth of it as he sets it up. Long driving kick, not a bad-looking drop punt, but just offline, and the breeze going down Geelong's end, but to that forward pocket, so he's actually into it.
So Geelong in front by 5 points. They struggled through the first half to trail by 14 points at the long break. Pert kicks in again. That's fantastic distance kicking that way. Well, Geelong again, they're picking up all the balls at ground level this quarter. Hand pass threaded back to Couch, who's running out of room near the boundary line. Pokes it up, bouncing ball here for Lindner. He's pulled off it without having it. Scott at the back. Well, Lindner may have been playing for the free kick, but...
Yes, I think he overemphasised that a bit during the Clayton umpire. The judge had to be play on.
Burke, who looks as though he's got a broken nose, certainly bleeding. It comes to Broderick in the back pocket for Fitzroy. Close to the boundary line. And a fine mark is taken by Mark Boss. Centres the ball. Didn't kick it very far. Yates goes back to Schultz. Everyone forward, just 4 players in half of the ground. Rendell's back there for Fitzroy. Trouble here for the Lions. Morgan. Comes back to Morgan. 40 metres out. Hooks the goal, but hooks too far. And out of bounds on the foot.
Darren Morgan. Sorry, Ross.
So they're looking far more positive, Geelong, aren't they, Peter? A bit more purposeful, getting the ball on the attacking side and shooting a goal.
Paul Broderick looking for Gary Pert, and he's found him at half-back. But Fitzroy not getting the ball down to their forward line at all in this quarter. We have 18.5 minutes of play left. Geelong have dominated. Damien Burke takes a good mark at half-forward. And he has had a very fine year. That was a bad hand pass. So that allows Fitzroy to come in. Oh, they raffle that one amongst themselves and eventually mess it up. Steve Hocking in after it. Centre wing, Yates. Hocking in again. It's right on the true centre wing position. Graham Osborne about to come off the ground, and coming on for his first run of the game, I would think, is Andrew Brockhurst.
Can't understand why Damien Burke had handball from there. He could have kicked the ball down towards over the centre half forward line.
Couch is grabbed, and umpire Mike Ball will come in and bounce it again.
Well, Burke may be seeing stars after that knock to the nose, and look at the blood pelting out of his nose. Hooked back by Burke, intercepted by Armstrong. Roos charges at it. He stayed at centre half forward this quarter, even though they're into the breeze, Fitzroy. And the ball's gone out of play. Forward of the wing, in between wing and half forward for the Lions. About the only time they've been forward of the centre line this quarter. 17.25 minutes remaining to three-quarter time. And Geelong so far dominating the term. Brockhurst, number 5. Ball up.
Blakey Ross has done a great job on Bairstow.
Yes, he has. Yes, Fitzroy, as I mentioned earlier in the game, do have some very good stoppers, and he is certainly one of those players.
Almost on centre wing. Fitzroy could really do with a steadying goal. Matera to Roos, that was great play. Over to Conlon. Conlon from 40 metres, straightens up, kicks. It's a wobbly one up towards the pocket, a one-on-one contest. Rogers in front of Wheeldon. Wheeldon brings him to ground, but I think the umpire will say that was in the back. And you tackle from behind, you can't ride them into the ground. Andrew Rogers. Long driving drop punt. Damien Burke, centre of the pack. Michael Schultz takes a strong mark in front.
Schultz off to Stephen Hocking. This is more like Geelong 1989 style. High. Burke is there. Can't quite take the mark. Gary Hocking. Morgan threads out a beauty to Scott. Open goal coming up. But, yes, he just got it.
Next time you change your oil, trade up to BP Visco 2000. Because a change of oil could change your image. Enter the BP Visco 2000 competition. See a participating BP service station now, and you could win a great new Nissan Exa. Hey, a Nissan Exa! BP, on the move.
At the Melbourne Big, we believe there are better ways to do things. We leave listings open for months longer to make the most up-to-date buying guide available. We keep in touch with our customers to stop dead listings. We combine classifications and use bigger print to make the book easier to use. We didn't have to be Einsteins to know how to list all Melbourne's businesses in one volume. We might not look big, but when it comes to big thinking, we outweigh the heavyweight every time. The Melbourne Big. We're too smart to be thick.
This is Anytown, and this is Jack, Anytown's handyman.
G'day.
Jack and his Nissan Navara have had a busy week. Monday, there was a brush with the law. Tuesday, a constructive engagement. Wednesday, a run on the stock market. Thursday and Friday positively flew by. This weekend, Jack's going fishing with the boys. And that's just another job his Navara has covered.
Because that's a hard-working truck.
That's Nissan know-how.
Discount sport for fitness, fame or fun. You win.
At A1 Sports Stores, you'll find more than just great bargains. You'll find our official VFL shops, cram-packed with everything a player or fan could want, like jumpers in all team colours, VFL-approved footy shorts and socks, wind cheaters, mugs, sports bags, sweatshirts, tracksuits. So get into A1 Sports' official VFL shops and really kick a goal.
Teddy Bear biscuits taste better than anything in the whole world.
Is being hounded by a mysterious caller who's threatening to kill her. And no one believes her story. Not her husband, not even the police. Every time the phone rings, the terror begins all over again. Why is she being threatened? How can she protect herself from an unknown killer? A mystery thriller that will have you guessing right to the very end. Doris Day and Rex Harrison in Midnight Lace. Presented by Lila Paws, 8:30 tonight on 7.
In fact, they lead by 1-5, so that's 11 points. Fitzroy want to stem the tide. They need a goal themselves. Now, how the umpires see that is play on his couch towards half forward, the mark taken by Gary Hocking. Now, he will probably make the distance from here. He's got a strong breeze to kick with. He will kick from about 52 metres. So I would think he'd make the distance all right. Let's see about the accuracy. Gary Hocking hooks it towards the pocket. Players set themselves for the mark. Punched through by Gary Pert. Through for a behind to Geelong. So the Cats move further in front. They've moved on to 5 goals, 9-39. Fitzroy remain on 4-3-27.
Bit of a to-do behind play. Gale and Morgan. Kick in by Pert. Damien Burke put in a sizable performance today. Stephen Hocking out to Couch. Centering kick. Oh, Gary Hocking almost a freak mark. Here's a chase on for the ball. Lindner coming from behind. Peter Burke for Fitzroy. Burke gathers well. Not named in the original 20, but replaced Darren Kapler. Yates pushed in the back. Free kick to the Geelong former skipper on centre wing.
Tim Darcy, too, is right down there. He is at the left of screen. Is out in the wing. Richard Osborne, the full forward and full back. Mark Yates has been a good player for Geelong today. Brings it towards the pocket. Lindner. Well, a little bit not too enthusiastic chasing that one, Bruce Lindner.
A little bit lackadaisical there, Peter. Need to do a bit more.
Well, it's about 65 metres out from the goal, but Geelong really looking good in this quarter. Rendell over the back as McCormack. A quick kick towards half forward for Geelong. Is Bruns cleverly across to Steve Hocking. Hocking onto the left foot, sets it up. Bairstow and Blakey, and waiting at the back is Andrew Buse. Now he'll kick from 50 metres. He's not taking much time. He knows he's got the breeze behind him as he kicks at goal. Mark by Stoneham right on the line. This will be another goal coming up to Geelong.
So Barry Stoneham, but he could have let that go, but did the right thing there. Not too sure where his Fitzroy opponent was, and took the mark. And should have got missed from there.
I think he'd be shot if he missed this one. Barry Stoneham from directly in front for his first goal of the game. Pops it through.
The Geelong forwards certainly more lively in this third quarter. They're moving around a lot more, giving their players coming down the ground off the half-back line and centre line some options. But more importantly, they're kicking direct. And if they're on the outer side, which is the defensive side, they're bringing the ball across the ground through centre half forward and giving their other forwards a chance to score from the scoring side. And it's paid dividends. And they've kicked 5 goals in this quarter.
Fitzroy have hardly been forward this quarter and certainly haven't scored going into the breeze. Leon Harris steals it, pulled off his kick. Malik Ellis grabs the crumbs, loses it in the tackle. Comes to Couch, who's been another dominant player this quarter. Stevens for Fitzroy, wide to the outer wing. Conlon leading the race, but the breeze helps that hurry out.
It's amazing how football changes so very quickly. A sum of 5 goals kicked in the first half by both sides, and yet Geelong in this first 15 minutes have kicked 5 goals. Can change the game very quickly.
Well, the Cats might have had their holiday in the first half. Malcolm Blight probably pointed that out to them at half-time. Blakey couldn't get the ball out, and the umpire will ball it up.
Well, Geelong lead by 18 points, 45-27, but 15 scoring shots to 7, and that must mean something. They really wasted the breeze in the first quarter. That was Burke trying to punch it out. Couch has played well in this quarter. Booted off the ground. Straight to Steve Hocking. Now he kicks long, a 60-metre drop punt right down to half forward. Punched away from Roos by Stoneham. The pace is shown by Brockhurst against Lindner. Brockhurst to the line. And good play by Andrew Brockhurst. safety first, puts it over the line. The former South Australian yet to have a touch of the ball. Well, that was a touch as he tapped it over. It's at half forward. Rouge now playing at centre half back. He's been shuffled between centre half forward and half back. Oh, Couch cleverly out to Bairstow. Bairstow straightens up, hooks at goal, punched through by Pert for another behind to Geelong. 6-10 they move on to. Fitzroy remain on 4-3, and Fitzroy finding it hard to get it over the centre.
Well, here we are halfway through the third quarter, and Paul Couch has had 23 kicks and 8 handballs and a sensational third quarter. Pert, look at that hold up in the breeze. Didn't reach the 50-metre line, and Yates takes the mark.
All the Fitzroy players standing and waiting for Matt Rendell to come to the mark. None of them made the effort themselves. All spectating.
Still difficult for Mark Yates from there, and it drops 15 metres short. Pert can't take the mark. And that will be another ball up. So once again, Geelong down in attack, and Fitzroy's defence will need to be as tight as it was in the first half if they're not to concede more goals. 46-27, all of a sudden a 19-point lead to Geelong, who trailed by 14 points at half-time. Lindner. Fletcher to Lindner. Didn't see the tackler coming, and the ball jolted out.
Well, Fitzroy had much the better of the first half in general play. They had the better players on the ground. Paul Roos was outstanding. Leon Harris, Matthew Armstrong, but a lot of those players have just completely gone out of the game as Geelong have gone into another gear. Well, that could have been a free kick to Lindner. Umpire didn't think so. Peter Burke hooks it back and out of bounds on the full. So things not going Fitzroy's way. Geelong really playing well in this quarter. Bairstow was beaten by Blakey in the first half and sensibly brings it across to half forward. Rendell, the big punch away over to Buse. Buse has gone short. He chips it into Lindner. That was great vision that by Andrew Buse.
Clever playing. Also clever play by the other Geelong forwards who knew Lindner was coming straight at the ball, and they ran out of the space, or out of the congested area to make space for Bruce Lindner to run. But a very timely kick from Andrew Buse. We see that on replay.
Lindner now playing at full forward. Gavin Exel was well beaten in the first half by Gary Pert. Lindner a great kick normally. Will certainly make the distance. Kick straight through that ball and straight through the centre. Another one to the Cats.
It's their 6th goal for this quarter, giving them 7 for the match. And Bruce Lindner's the first time he's had a chance to break away from Gary Pert and set up a lead. And a fine kick from Andrew Buse, as we mentioned earlier on. It's those half-forward flankers and forward players of Geelong, along with Paul Couch in the centre, who've made the difference in this quarter.
Umpire Mike Ball treads very gingerly in the mud there to throw it up in the air. Bruns gets boot to ball. Bairstow at full stretch. Loses a bit of ground to gain balance. To centre half forward. Thump to the front of the pack. Here's Couch again. The ball just following him all over the place. Off to Burke. Unloads a big one. Lindner, but too long for him and out of bounds in the forward pocket. And Paul Couch will finish up with about 50 possessions if he keeps this up.
Yes, he could have a real record on his hands here. He's put the ball on the string at the moment. It's in that forward pocket area. Danger again for Fitzroy. Burke cleverly down to Gary Hocking and Robert Scott, who raffled that one. And the umpire will come in and bounce it. There's Scott, outstanding player. Played well for Victoria against South Australia in the state of origin.
Particularly early, Peter, didn't he, when the game had to be won?
I think he had a spell on the bench towards the end.
Yes, he did.
Burke against Rendell again. Rendell cleverly back towards the boundary line. Jimmy Winders there. Always slipped over at the wrong moment. Taken away by Peter Burke. Hand pass around the boundary line. And that was odds on that Couch would take that over the line, which he does at the 50-metre mark. And Geelong lead 7-10 to Fitzroy 4-3. And Fitzroy hardly had it over the centre.
Well, Couch is even going for the boundary throw-ins now. He really attacks the ball hard. Little toe poke out there by Burke to Buse, and Buse goals!
You're looking sharp, you're looking good, You've come so far, and we know how to make the most of who you are. Father to son, it's what we've always done. Gillette.
Gillette Contour Plus with lubricating strip for the best a man can get. Enter the Gillette Best a Man Can Get competition. Win one of 10 superb Omega Seamaster watches worth $1,500. Entry forms where you buy Contour Plus.
Gillette, the best a man can get.
겁나 많이 미도 발간해 오스트레일리아.
This is the 420 export pie. It's bigger, chunkier, and now available oven fresh from these very special 420 hot shops. You'll love it. Because while 420 have taken the pie out of Australia, they've taken none of the Australian out of the pie.
Hi, have you heard the news?
I can't believe it's true.
I couldn't wait to let you know.
I just had to talk to you.
You won't believe what's happened.
The new reduced international direct dial prices from OTC have got everyone talking. We've cut the cost of calls to 45 of the most popular countries.
It doesn't cost as much to make a call.
To stay in touch.
OTC. Our reduced rates have got everyone talking.
Sorry. You know how it is. It's a bit wet over there. Bit wet over here, too. Let me get some drinks. No, let me. Waiter, drinks all around.
Well, if we're going to make a party of it, let's nibble Nobby's nuts.
Sorry.
Tonight, MacGyver's called in to protect a friend who's come back from the dead.
They're going to make sure he's dead this time.
And MacGyver's caught in the middle. 7:30 tonight on 7.
In Home and Away.
Excuse me, I think we've got an emergency.
He can hardly breathe.
A baby's life is threatened by a mystery illness.
He's in intensive care.
The baby is in a critical condition.
Critical. He said critical, our baby might die.
His respiration is worse and his condition is deteriorating rapidly. Monday at 6 on 7.
A disappointing quarter for Fitzroy. They failed to score, but a great one for the Cats. They booted 7 goals 5 to shoot to a very handy 33-point lead. 8-12-60 to Fitzroy's 4-3-27. The big question was, could the Lions make any impression in the final quarter? Let's now go to that final quarter, and it's the early stages.
But Geelong showed their class in that third quarter, led by Paul Couch, who has had about 35 possessions to this stage. It's at half forward for Geelong. That's Robert Scott charging in after it. Fitzroy player in there is Brett Stevens. Oh, well done, Morgan. To Malakalis, 30 metres out, straight into an open goal. Hasn't even made the distance. This is Gary Pert running around Lindner. Pert certainly hasn't let Fitzroy down today. He beat Exel early, and now he's playing on Lindner. That's Blakey receiving from Armstrong. Armstrong gets it back. Armstrong to centre wing. He's found a teammate down there, and this is Paul Broderick.
Broderick hooks it in towards centre half forward, and Paul Roos. He's got a chance here. Away to Matera. Slips a tackle. Goes back to Stevens. 55 metres out. Used to be a full forward in Perth, but didn't look like it on that kick. And then defensive mark taken by Darcy. Out to Stephen Hocking. Oh, terrible kick. And Thornton takes the mark for Fitzroy. He's at right half forward. And I suppose a 33-point lead. Game's not all over yet. Fitzroy have the breeze in this last quarter. Osborne takes the mark just inside the boundary line, but gee, he's been a very quiet player today. 3 marks for 3 kicks, Richard Osborne. Back from an ankle injury, and I might suggest he's probably still got the ankle injury. Best chance to goal from this side of the ground, and a beautiful kick.
Quite right, Drew. A fine kick from there. That's the goal that Fitzroy certainly wanted to start this quarter off and give them some sort of confidence to go into the last quarter. They kicked very well in the previous game against Geelong. We've mentioned a couple of times coming back from 5 goals down to win the game by a point. That gives them some incentive for this quarter, Pete. I wouldn't think they're out of the game just yet.
Well, they're certainly not out of it. They're kicking with a strong breeze, and they only trail by 3 goals 9, and that's what they wanted, a quick goal to start the quarter. Damien Burke against Matt Rendell. They want another couple of quick ones and put the pressure on Geelong. Very difficult to score goals up the other end of the ground. The end that Geelong is kicking to in this quarter. Rendell down straight to Yates, has been an excellent player. He finds Robert Scott still almost in the centre. Scott was quiet in the first half but had a great third quarter. Now he's got a loose man in Malakalis and he's found him, but it hasn't gained anything. Malakalis in the glue pot. Oh, wobbly kick to half forward. This is Andrew Buse. Caught. No, it's not. It's Fletcher. Caught. Back to Scott. Scott will... Oh, gee, he gets away beautifully. Nearly lost. A good play by Matt Rendell to keep chasing. Kicked away by Fletcher. A hand pass. Roos in after it. Oh, chance now for Fitzroy. Good play, Paul Roos. Onto the left foot. Great vision too, and he finds Wielden. And Fitzroy all of a sudden looking dangerous again. Darren Wielden has kicked 2. Now he'll have to kick from 56 metres. He's going back almost to the centre of the ground to kick this one. Giving himself enough room, Ross. Have a look at this as he comes
back on the wing.
He's about 30 metres back from the man on the mark.
The Merv Hughes runner.
Look at the run. Well, he's very deliberate. Lovely looking drop punt right up in front of the Fitzroy goal. It's fisted away by the strong Geelong defenders and straight over the line.
Well, Fitzroy in attack at the moment, and if they get another goal, the memories of the round 5 clash might start to flood back for Geelong. And they blew a big lead and lost by a point. Hughes across the ground. Bairstow making up territory on Blakey. But the ball goes out of play and they almost finish up in the runner's tent.
Just watching Matt Rendell, he looks exhausted over behind the play.
Well, he's been run around a lot by Damien Burke today. Here's Couch, another kick. Malakalis slides across the hand pass to Stephen Hocking. Short of half forward. Stevens in front, couldn't take the mark. Flipped forward by Gale, but finds Bruns. Hocking's there. Gary Hocking thumps down to Scott. Scott's got a chance to get into the clear here. He approaches 50, might have delayed it just one step too long. And Stevens intercepts, gets it to Harris, and now Fitzroy strike back. Armstrong, great kick to half forward, and the mark taken by Thornton. Still a kick and a half to go. Drops it in short. Oh, McGrath should have taken the mark once he got there. Matera gets clear. McGrath a chance. Beautiful play. Broderick into an open goal. And he missed it.
Oh. Well, apart from the opportunity of a mark missed by Craig McGrath, they made up for them with some fine handball. And then Paul Broderick letting them down in a goal that should have been scored.
Yeah, I'd say that again. He missed one up the other end where he hooked it about 30 metres across the face in the third quarter when he had an open goal. Oh, Darcy's gone short. Oh, dangerous. Hocking's taken the mark, but Wielden almost intercepted. That would have put Geelong a bit of pressure if they had to kick that one. Here's McGrath, a chance to atone. That was almost a mark. Not paid. Boss, Malakalis, Bruns. The short one is on to half forward. Oh, good mark to go. And, well, they're looking better, Ross, the Fitzroy.
Well, there's still a big chance, Peter. Not out of it yet.
There's 19.5 minutes of play left in this game. Burke. Oh, he's been a good player, Damien Burke. It could have almost have been 50 against Roos. Tapped it out of Burke's hands. Damien Burke, the hand pass across to Andrew Rogers. Rogers comes from half-back and goes wide. Stevens and Stoneham, and well, Stevens has done a fair job today on Barry Stoneham.
Yes, he's moved up there when Paul Roos has played centre half forward, kicking with the breeze. He has done a fair job, Peter.
26 points the difference. And Weintraub went over his head. Armstrong bowled over by Buse. Buse back to Bruns. And he was caught. He backed himself to get through that hole, and the gap closed.
Good tackle by Graham Osborne.
Fitzroy's endeavour certainly... Oh, he's run straight into the man on the mark. A sensational tackle by Buse.
That's right. If you thought Graham Osborne's tackle was a beauty, that was one of the best I've seen. Great strength.
And Buse gets a good lead from Lindner. Lindner into the breeze. Gary Hocking down there for the Cats, and he marks. And umpire Clayton signals the mark after being decked. And umpire Clayton's got the Kardinia Park mud all over him after he went to ground. But everybody was watching Hocking as he took the mark.
Perhaps you fell down in sympathy, Drew.
Well, a spectacular passage there. The tackling, the mark, the umpire down, and Hocking misses the goal to the left.
Allowed for the breeze. Poor old Gary Hocking allowed for the breeze, and it didn't come, and he missed.
The tackle again. Buse the man on the mark.
What a great tackle. Just committed himself to attack Graham Osborne's body. Didn't watch the ball. He just went straight at the player. Well done.
Bad play by Gary, I should say, by Osborne. Very poor play, actually, not to kick it long. There's Gale trying to tap it back towards the boundary line. Scott caught with the ball, close to the boundary line for the Cats. As players charge in after it. Oh, strong work in the clinches there. And still going on. And Gary Hocking right in the thick of it. Players wrestling, pushing and shoving. And I wonder if the umpire will still bounce it. Ian Clayton, it was close to the boundary line when the original incident was there. There's Gary Hocking at the back. Damien Burke shoving a few around. And Ian Clayton seems to have it well under control. Well, really, that play by Osborne before, Graham Osborne probably cost him a goal in the end. The bounce about 25 metres out from the Geelong goal. Rendell against Burke. Burke taps it to the ground. Oz kicked away towards half forward. No free kick. The umpire really letting it go. Couch has it kicked away from him. This is Schultz, who's been a fine player. Gale loses the run of it. Couch, it's his umpteenth kick towards half forward. Oh, Hocking set up Thornton. Thornton, good strong play by Ross Thornton. Heads for the boundary line and puts it over. But see, there was some, no, they found a free kick. Umpiring Clayton at the back of that pack, and will go to McCormack.
Michael Gale's off the ground. Looks like he might have hurt his shoulder. Graham Osborne back line.
Well, Andrew Buse just put a bear hug on McCormack and threw him to the ground. That was the free kick. And Buse bleeding from the eye. It might be as a result of his tackle. Bruns, Stephen Hocking just gets the kick away. Ooh, and delivers one and shapes up for a bit more action. Stephen Hocking back behind the play. And Gary Hocking flings an opponent to the ground. This is really hotting up here at the moment. And once again, McCormack will get the free kick for being decked in a bear hug. Well, still, 27 points the difference, and Fitzroy not out of it. But oh, Pert should have got rid of it in a hurry. He was far too slow, Gary Pert. Paddle up the ground. Here's Couch again. The two number 8s, Wind and Scott. Scott wins. Over the top he goes. Burke lopes onto the bouncing ball. Delivers a good kick to full forward. Lindner with a climb. He was up there forever.
Wasn't it amazing? As he took his mark earlier on, the crowd booed him, which is not very good sportsmanship. Now he takes a screamer, and they love him. Typical fickleness of supporters, but a great mark to Bruce Lindner. As Michael Conlon warms up on the boundary line, and Graham Osborne coming off the ground.
Geelong looking for their first goal this quarter. Lindner from 20 metres. Kicks it.
Today's game is part of the Carlton and United Breweries 1989 Premiership season.
And the final scoreboard showing victory to Geelong 82-58. 11-16, 82 the Cats, the Lions kicking 4 in the last, 4-7 in fact, to finish with 8-10-58. The President, Bruce Lindner, booted 3, Fletcher and Scott each 2 for Geelong, whilst for Fitzroy, Richard Osborne 3, Conlon and Wheeldon each booted 2. The ladder at the moment is looking pretty interesting, but by the same token also the 5 is looking relatively settled. Hawthorn, well, they've built on their percentage today. It's still not as great as Geelong's, but they are a game clear. Then comes Essendon. Bear in mind Melbourne and Collingwood both have matches still to play. North Melbourne are out of the 5 by a percentage and 1 game at the least at the moment. That could change tomorrow. So the 5 could well be settled. We'll take a break, but coming up shortly, all the football gossip with Scott Palmer.
Come on.
You haven't seen it for 2 years, Dad. Another 2 minutes won't make any difference.
Airport will be closed.
Nowhere.
There he is, there he is.
Where? There he is.
I'll go and get him.
Where?
Good to see you, son. I'll take care of this. Go and say hello to your mum. I'll get the car. I'll meet you outside.
Check the other way. I mind if I put on the car.
A Holden? Since when have you been driving a Holden?
Since they made this one. You've been gone a while, son.
So, what's under the bonnet?
Big V6 with 4-speed auto.
You, a V6? I love it. What did I say?
It doesn't matter, son. Good to have you home.
How come my business is just getting off the ground and you're opening a second restaurant?
Good food, good service.
So I should poach your head waiter?
No, my banker.
They're all the same.
Not pyramid.
Building society?
Yes. Borrowings, investments, cheque accounts, and time. Time to take a real interest.
You sound impressed.
Good service always impresses me. More coffee?
Thanks.
For people who are money-wise, Pyramid, Victoria's largest building society.
For a versatile 35mm camera system, you'd need to get a big case of equipment, something like this. Or you could get a Ricoh Mirai, a complete SLR camera system in one neat package. A power zoom lens from 35 to 135mm, autofocus, exposure, flash, digital program readout, and of course, manual program shift. The Ricoh Mirai. For the first time, a complete SLR package in a camera, not a case.
Only one razor, Schick Extra 2, gives you a special slim head for shaving hard-to-reach places. A unique push-clean device. And eventually, one slight regret. Schick Extra 2, too good to be disposable.
6 years ago, one airline had the foresight to introduce business class to Australia. Now the same airline has taken the initiative to raise the standards again with more legroom and first-class food. So now you can enjoy the finer points of business travel. Where we lead, the other follows.
You should see us now.
Don't forget, Sports World gets underway at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Our football segment at around 11 o'clock, and it certainly is going to be a packed hour of football tomorrow. The Madden boys, who are up against each other today at VFL Park, will be joining us, and so too will Tony Shaw, who will be out at Footscray for the big clash between the Bulldogs and the Magpies. The panel will, of course, all be here and once again voting on their State Bank Player of the Year.
At the end of the 89 home and away season, the player voted the State Bank Player of the Year by our Sports World panel will receive a state banking system account worth $10,000. State Bank Victoria. We never forget it's your money.
Yes, a great prize for the Player of the Year, courtesy of State Bank and, of course, the Australian Television Network. Time now to journey up to the offices of the Sunday Press, and there is the sporting editor, the King, Scott Palmer. Scotty, good evening.
Good evening, Sandy.
Scotty, I was out at VFL Park today and I saw Tony Antrobus limp off the ground. Gee, he's had problems with injuries, hasn't he?
Yes, he pulled a hamstring today, Sandy, and he'll be out for another 3 weeks at least. Unfortunately for him, he's had a bad run of injuries, just back from a broken thumb, and now this happens. Bad luck for Tony.
Scotty, I've got an interesting one for you, because when Essendon left the ground, Kevin Sheedy came down before the final siren and he did not look a happy man. What was the problem? Did he think they almost threw it away?
That's right. He came right down onto the ground, and here's a photograph that just shows the mood of Sheedy just then. And apparently Terry Danaher, his captain, said, listen, Sheedy, don't say anything now. The media are listening. The media are watching. Let's go into the rooms. But Sheedy just let him have it. Just let him have it.
And he didn't beat your photographer, did he?
No, he didn't.
Well, a bubble has burst for Jezza.
Yes, unfortunately for Jezza, but he's not giving away any plans. He feels that the season's still alive. He's not talking about the finals anymore, and he's just hoping that next week he gets the likes of Satori and Silvani and Glaskett and Dorotich and Hawker back, so they can keep on winning. They play Collingwood, and they reckon they've got a good chance of doing a job on Collingwood.
Scotty, John Todd has been in the news in recent weeks. I believe a few buttons were removed from a journalist's shirt, and today he took his side out to meet Hawthorn, who gave them a good old thumping. Were there any excuses?
No, he said they're living in fantasy land, the Eagles.
Fantasy land?
Fantasy land. He said that over in Perth, the people treat the West Coast Eagles like gods, and they're not, he said. He said there were 6 players in the first quarter that didn't even get a touch, and he told them during the break to go out and get your pants dirty.
Scotty, who does he lay the blame at? I mean, everyone else is saying, well, perhaps it's the coach. Whose fault is it?
He said one person's not the fault, it's not the coach's fault. Not my fault, he said.
Was there a rap for Hawthorn?
Yes, he said it was the best side in the competition, and he said it's been the best side for 10 years. And he said they're the yardstick of the competition, really. Alan Jeans, of course, said it's making things hard losing blokes like Abbott and Tony Hall, but it's giving the young boys a go.
Well, Richmond had a good win over Sydney today, but I believe, Scotty, at a cost.
Yes, well, Richard Nixon, the president, he's broken the same hand that he broke against Hawthorn on Anzac Day. Looks like another 6 weeks. But Lee and Waitman really put it together today, the old combination from Melbourne High.
And Cole Kinnear not impressed?
Not impressed. He said, some players are getting a game in league football, quote, when they don't deserve it, unquote. And he named Carroll, Nagel and Scott as the only contributors for the Swans.
So could be a few changes there next week. Down to Kardinia Park. And in the twos, Dwayne Russell had his number taken.
Yes, he was dropped from the seniors and he went down there and got reported. So it's going to be a touchy go for Dwayne. Darren Flanagan announced after the match that he'd back in full training next week. And of course, Andrew Bewes has a badly cut eye from the day. But Malcolm Blight said, look, we didn't handle the conditions well in the first quarter. It was a tough one, but we're just glad we got away with it.
Scotty, I'm afraid our time is up. In closing, thank you and keep punching.
Thank you, Sandy.
Scotty Palmer of the Sunday Press, and that just about wraps up our coverage for tonight. But of course, there's a big coverage of all sports starting at 9 o'clock tomorrow. We've got basketball.